Well, towards the end of last November, my last McBLOG was I'll be back. And as promised, here I am. Lock up your children. McBLOG is back. So the sabbatical, the extended leave has ended and it's back to work. Surprisingly, I was looking forward to it. There's so much to discuss, critique, and promote with you. And I am feeling energized and enthused. But for those of you who asked, well, where have you been? What have you been doing all this time? Well, basically, our family spent 5 weeks in the UK and a little bit of Europe during December. And then January was back in New Zealand, enjoying the sun, which we saw very little of in December. Getting used to that darkness in the UK at 4 p.m. was interesting. But here's the three, what I did on my holidays. Here's the three absolutely top highlights of our family time in the UK and Europe, according to me. Firstly, middle of December, attending the Liverpool versus Arsenal game, 1-1 despite an obvious penalty not awarded to Liverpool. And you'll notice that I'm wearing a white hat. I don't normally wear those, but it's so that I stand out, and you could actually see me. My mates could see me in the stand on the day. There I am in the white hat there, just on the 6-yard box. And you can see the hat close to the pitch, right where the penalty should have been awarded. And then the second big highlight of this trip was the Anfield tour, where the current coach of Liverpool surprisingly offered me his role as manager, Jurgen Klopp. Yep, he has just said he's going to step down at the end of the season. You'll be glad to know that I declined. The players in the club will also be glad that I declined as well. And then there was the tour of the pitch and getting to stand on the Liverpool turf. And my final highlight was on New Year's Day, Liverpool versus Newcastle, a 4-2 win. And I was sitting right next to the commentary team. They say that the whole family attended that one. My wife and 2 daughters are now hooked as Liverpool supporters. My son already was, so I brainwashed him from the day he was born. But they say that the family that watches football stays together, or something like that, isn't it? There was also, apparently, according to the family, we visited a famous palace in Buckingham, big tower in Paris, a snowy covered mountain in Switzerland, and a few castles, one where Queen Elizabeth is buried, some cathedrals, narrow country roads, real narrow, a village where Doc Martin was filmed, and museums. Apparently, we visited those as well. And we tried haggis and black pudding in Edinburgh and snails in Paris. I'll stick to KFC, I think. I have to confess, we also went to a game at Tottenham Hotspur's ground and a game at Old Trafford, the home of arch enemies Manchester United. A funny story, which I don't have time to tell you on this episode, but while my son and friend were in the regular stands, my ticket was faulty, but the club kindly put me in the wheelchair section as a caregiver, which is right by the pitch. And what was interesting was that Manchester United got thrashed at home, and I still made it out alive. But the whole adventure had great memories, great family time. Well, it's time to get back into family first. 2024 is going to be another significant and busy year, holding the new government and coalition to account on family issues, researching issues such as gender ideology, extreme sexuality education, and critical race theory in schools, and the ongoing monitoring of the abortion and euthanasia laws and defence of our current drug laws. There's still the possibility of hate speech laws, highlighting the public health harms of pornography, researchers in the areas of marriage and families, the role of parents, and reports to add to our existing library. Now, just after I went on sabbatical, the coalition got together and we sent out a newsletter. We were greatly encouraged by many of the excellent policies agreed upon by the new coalition government. And some of the best policies coming out of the new coalition government were in education. The refocus, especially the New Zealand First Agreement, on the refocus on academic achievement and not ideology, including the removal and replacement of the gender, sexuality, and relationship-based education guidelines. There was also compulsory education and addressing truancy. Good. Focus on doing the basics better through emphasising reading, writing, and arithmetic. Our original. In law and order, there was amending the Sentencing Act and associated legislation to ensure appropriate consequences for criminals, including priority to the needs of victims and communities, which is a good thing. There was also, according to the Act agreement, 3 strikes legislation with amendments to to tighten the definition of strike offences and ensure some benefit for pleading guilty. In health, cut health waiting times by training more doctors, nurses and midwives, giving Kiwis access to 13 more cancer treatments. Funding for birthing units and maternity care, well done, including providing for a 3-day stay for new mothers. There's free breast cancer screening for women aged up to 74. And then there was also in the Act agreement, protect freedom of speech by ruling out the introduction of hate speech legislation and stop the Law Commission's work on hate speech legislation, which is good. Law Commission would have given a very stacked, biased summary. And there's also the COVID inquiry, a full-scale, wide-ranging independent inquiry with local and international experts into how the COVID pandemic was handled in New Zealand, including the use of multiple lockdowns, and I hope also the implementation of mandates. But we were particularly stoked about the plans to scrap the controversial and radical RSE curriculum being indoctrinated in schools by harmful groups such as Inside Out, Rainbow Youth and Family Planning. Lots of McBLOG episodes on that. And we've been researching and raising the red flag about this curriculum actually since 2018. And last year I was traveling around the country informing large groups of parents about the radical curriculum, listening to the concerns and anger of parent groups and empowering parents to push back. And it's paid off. In 2024, we will hold the coalition government to account on the appropriate implementation of these and other pro-family policies. So, McBLOG is officially back. Family Matters, which are our more in-depth interviews, will be returning soon. Straight Talk, our Monday night panel discussion by social conservatives for social conservatives, will return in the first week of March. And lots of people have been emailing us asking about when it starts back. And we have a new feature program starting up, which we hope will really keep you up with the news and research that you need to be aware of. More details of that to come. Right, I'm off to do some research for the next episodes. It's good to be back.